Today we're doing a bit of live trading. I've opened a few positions and I'm sorry if I didn't mention that. I actually wanted to do this earlier. I was preparing a video where I wanted to share some entries with you. And guys, I have a few entries. Here you can see entry 1 and then I have another one here. Cardano, entry 2 is just about to hit its take profit. I've got something in HBAR, it's currently running in profit. And Ethereum is also about to take its profit. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to do it earlier. Also with Bitcoin, as you can see here. I only scaled my position there, but it's already hit some Fibonacci targets. That means I actually have open positions everywhere. I can quickly share that with you too. I really wish I had done it earlier. I actually should have gone live right away before I planned to record a video for you to show you these entries. But things moved so quickly as the price dropped that I had to stop my video. I opened positions everywhere with limit orders, and as you can see, they're actually doing really well at the moment. And exactly what did I want to show you? I just need to quickly check my streaming program. Can I open it here? You should be able to see this. So here you can see the Bitcoin position. The long position is now also in profit, but that's a longer term position that's already been open. Down here we have a few smaller ones. We have Ethereum here, which has moved into profit. Solana, which has also moved into profit. I've actually opened all of these just now. HBAR also managed to move into profit. Bitcoin and Cardano. And now we'll go through all of this live in detail again for everyone who isn't familiar with this trading strategy yet. It just works so well, and this is yet another proof of that. Even though in the last video I also posted it on Telegram, unfortunately there was a stop loss. But after the stop loss, I decided to leave it at that because we had a short position. I just need to quickly check where do I have it now, right? We had a short position, I think, on Ethereum. I can look back again to see where that was. Or was it a long position? Yes, it was a long position. That's right. That was in this area here. The long position, first there was a stop loss here, just so you can see it again, also completely transparent for you. No, I think I entered here. That's how it was. That's where I entered. We hit the stop loss twice. I even went long here one more time, but the take profit was not reached. Break even was reached. Case closed. Okay, 2 bad trades, or rather 2 bad entries, which is totally fine. But as you can see here, I did exactly the same thing again. For those who don't know this yet, check out my channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. So also check out the trading video. Passive income on autopilot. It just works so well. I really recommend it to everyone. Try it with a small amount for the income. It really is passive. It works so well. But what I actually want to show you right now in this very moment is the comprehensive and updated playlist where I've meticulously added a few significant and recent updates and improvements. Learn trading step by step. And if you go in here, I'll hit pause now, you'll find several videos, especially the simplest trading strategy, which I recently published here on my channel. And there I explain it in detail. It works every time, the simplest trading strategy. And you're still not using it, that's what it is. And I really don't do anything else here either, except to apply it, of course. It's nice to see what I can do now, because as I said, if we have a risk-reward ratio of 1 to 2, in this case, I'll go down and see where the current price is. We're at a risk-reward ratio of 1 to 3.6. I'm already moving my stop loss to break even now. I have that here once with Ethereum, but we also have it with HBAR. Sorry, I need to zoom out on HBAR. Why am I long on HBAR? We have a massive opportunity here with this long position and another one down here as well, just so you can see it here. With Cardano, we have a major opportunity as well. You can see the big opportunity we have here. I'm removing the RSI and similar indicators at the bottom, but not just the big one, which I just used again. I also have the small 15-minute chart, which should actually be hitting my take profit now, I think. I did the same thing there again. Because we broke through this low here, meaning the lower high to the upside, just look at the entry, perfectly on the 0.5 comma, just slightly below it, and now it's moving up. That means I should actually check whether the trade is still in there. I need to see either where I have the take profit here. All smaller positions, because I have to be honest, this wasn't, I don't even have a take profit. Oh wait, I do have the main one in there. Look, I actually have the main take profit set for ADA, but I used both the small and the main entry together. That means I use this entry again, but at the same time, I also have the main entry here on the daily chart. If we look also here at the 0.618, and that's always very positive for me when we see that. And that's why I set my take profit up here at 101.83. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work out now. It could be that we go up here and then continue down afterwards. But overall, the structure of Cardano looks very bullish right now on the daily chart. Higher highs, higher lows. And especially these pullbacks for higher lows often hit the 0.5 and 0.618 levels. And I also happen to notice that we've triggered the 0.618. And that's why there's a possibility that we could reach this level again. It always depends on what the numbers from the American market will say this week. But in addition, I also took advantage of the small entry opportunity here to open my position. Solana, it's just been running incredibly cleanly. I set that up deliberately as we were moving down. You can see here there's an alert, Solana long, when it reaches the 0.618. Then I got my long position alert here and entered right away. And now it actually looks like it's about to hit its take profit up here. Of course, it would be nice if I could catch that right away. You see how quickly that can actually happen. That's Cardano, and here we have Solana. I only entered a small trade here as well. Right before, you can see it's just about to reach its take profit. That's enough for me, to be honest, even if we keep going up and the market pumps somewhere. I'll always find new entries in the future anyway, and I just want, and that's what's so important to me, that I always have new entries. Just like with shorts, when you take short trades, I always have new entries, but I want to realize profits for myself. We'll see if that works out, or if he makes a turnaround before that, which he could do now since he's close to it. Let's go to Solana and I'll just close out. 20%, then at least I've locked in a little bit, something realized. Close, we'll do 50% here. There's not much left in it, so we'll close the long. I've realized something, so even if it turns around now, it's no problem at all. Okay, that's a limit order. That's not what I wanted, of course. I wanted to do it all at market. Maybe it'll get filled now anyway. Let's wait and see. Then you'll see it live in a moment. It probably won't go through by just a tiny bit. We'll lower it a little. Yeah, now it did. Now at least I've realized something since it was so close. Because that's exactly what happened to me last time with Ethereum. Guys, that happened to me with the last trades. Actually, I have a few Ethereum trades open now. One of them just went nicely into profit. That means the recent losses from Ethereum have all actually been covered by these trades. If this profit continues, then all of those will be offset. Greetings, Michael. Nice to see you online again. What do we have here? Where was it? Let's see where that was. I think it was this area. Right here was my take profit. Wait, that's wrong. Why? That was actually where I had my entry, where I said I wanted to go long here. In my case, it was triggered again as well. So at first it was different, I have to be honest. We want to stick to the truth here. Here, I'm long. Stop loss. And then I went long again here. In this case here. And this long at the zero, what was it? 7, 8, 6 level, just couldn't reach the take profit up here. And then it hit my break even. Otherwise, these trades would have been profitable again. But it doesn't matter at all. Now we have a good position. Maybe we'll also take a little here. Take some profits on Ethereum. Because everything is looking so good right now. I also got stopped out on Ethereum earlier. I have to say, I'll tell you in a moment where that was. We'll also set very close limits. %, that is to say, for virtually everything else that happens, and we will certainly do market. I have very good and favorable fees on Bitcoin, so everything is absolutely fine, 45% to be precise. And let's take a little profit. Unfortunately, only small trades here now, I have to be honest. I'll also tell you in a moment why these are just small trades. For those of you who are online right now, just so you know, we can still take a look at Bitcoin. What did Bitcoin do? But I have to take a closer look at the chart for that. Solana will just take care of the rest now. Awesome. I would have really liked to do this together with you in case anyone wants to trade along. But Bitcoin is really taking off, working super well. I'm also not going to be live for too long today, but we'll say this. With Bitcoin, we have the chance to maybe find a new entry since we're pumping right now. Now on the 15-minute chart. For me, I have to say Bitcoin was the only valid entry that I liked. Why? Because after this massive consolidation here, a bit down, a bit up, we basically have exactly this whole price range here. We broke through the top, which is why it was very interesting to me that you could open a long position here. And at least on the smaller time frame, we managed to make higher highs and higher lows here. That played out cleanly, and if we zoom out to the daily chart now, that's exactly where we have the next point. I think we also went through this in the last video, that from this area down here to the top, we had an incredibly good entry right at the 0.618 level. I just need to hand this over briefly. It bounced several times right at the 0.618 level, really several times here. And after that, it had a wonderful rise. Not only did it have the opportunity on the larger scale, I also realized this again on the smaller time frame, which was very good. And at the current moment, it looks good. We might also take a little bit off here because this is a building position. If we drop lower, that's completely fine with me. As you can see, I've kept taking some profits along the way. I keep taking profits again and again. And if we keep dropping, I'll scale it again as well. That means Bitcoin, we're in it now. We'll also take 30%. If you don't know this yet, I've done this regularly with my large position in Ethereum, which I think is now $20,000 in profit. We'll take a small profit here, again, putting something aside. Then we can just let it run like this now. But I have to take a look. Let me quickly log into bit.gad so you can also see my current bots. Of course, I've also started a few bots again. Trading bots. I just need to quickly... Then we'll go through a few things. But it's really nice to see that the market is reacting so positively today. Maybe also because the US is finally back in the market. They weren't yesterday, I knew that. Actually, I genuinely thought there was a completely normal opening yesterday, a truly typical one. But in the comments on my last video, someone pointed out to me that that wasn't the case. So now we have Bitget here. We can take another look inside. There was just a take profit somewhere. Earlier, I also scaled the Solana position again, right on point with the Fibonacci. You can see it here. If I go into the 5-minute chart, almost right at the Fibonacci entry, that's what I told you earlier. By the way, something just took profits again. Here at this Fibonacci level, I remembered that I still have an open Solana position, which I scaled again right here, also perfectly on point. But what's interesting is, with the Bitcoin position, do we have that, the Ethereum position? Unfortunately, I didn't scale that one. I actually could have, but there's still a chance here. You can see that I kept selling at the tops and then bought back in during various stronger corrections. By now, I've already realized $16,000 with Ethereum, and there are still $4,200 currently open. But that also remains open. So this position actually stays open. My entry price, guys, it's just a dream. $2,438. So why haven't I gone for a larger scaling here yet? It's actually quite simple. If we switch to the daily chart here, I'm still missing a little something before I scale up my position again. If it should happen, I don't want it to, but we never know if it might. We still haven't had a correction from this area. If that should happen, I know nobody wants 3,510, but nobody wanted to see what just happened either. And yet, it happened. That's exactly why I'm being very, very cautious with my scaling here. Why should I scale up my large position, which is running smoothly, too early and too high, when I might get the opportunity for some reason? And guys, I don't know if you've noticed, Donald Trump, there hasn't been any news for a while, but today, I think around 2 o'clock or so, there's supposed to be an update. What does Crypto Wall Strip say? Right, announcement in the Oval Office, because there have already been rumors. Has Donald Trump maybe died, or did he have a stroke? Or this or that and other possible things. And that's supposed to be announced today. And if we were to see a massive crash in the market, only then would I be ready to scale up my large position. Let's go over this briefly. I recently opened another trading pod. I still have the spot grid, and this Ethereum one has really performed damn well. A strong performance with $533 in profit. You can see this round going down. This is going to be a long-term pod. But what's interesting, simply put, is what I can really say. I also opened a futures grid recently, just came to mind, just to see, specifically to adjust the price range here. But that's not really it either. Rather, it's spot martingale. I've also opened a few futures martingale now. There, Ethereum has made, what do we have, 1% in 7 days. Yeah, but that's okay. So, what kind of bot did you open, Michaela? Grid or Martingale? Because it's been running for ages, so I do my spot grids, or in general, those who open these grids, always depending on the number of buyback orders. So the first one, for example, was at 15 buyback orders. Then subsequently, I meticulously opened this particular one, and while it still hasn't quite hit its predetermined take profit level, okay, that's the spot, then this one comes into play now. During this significant period, the second one, which I carefully set up after precisely 15 strategic buybacks of the initial bot. Ah, you don't actually have Martingale, okay? You primarily use grid bots, I understand. So TCA spot bots, hey, that's the same thing, Michaela. TCA spot bots are the same as Martingale bots. They just have a different name on the smartphone. On Bitget, they're called TCA bots if you want to show that, and on the computer. But here it says Martingale. These are simply the regular DCA bots. That's actually a bit strange. But I always do it as soon as 15 buyback orders. If the second one also reaches 15 to 20 buyback orders, somewhere in between, I watch what the market is doing and then I open a new one again. But in the meantime, this one was able to generate profits 13 times, as you can see here. While the other one is still waiting for the price of $4,627 at the current moment. I also have a sub account somewhere. I created some there today. I don't even know how to. There actually isn't a minimum investment for the Martingale bots. You can really start here with the smallest amount. Okay, as you can see, you can start with the smallest amount here. And people should just test it out without much risk. That's always my recommendation as well. Let's take a look now at what was just picked up earlier. That was Solana. Ethereum is still open, but we've realized a bit of profit. ADA and H-bar are still a bit outside. Solana has reached its take profit. Let's see how it goes from here. So if it really goes down again now, you can just see how good that would be. But what would be the next entry point? Because we're live right now and can see it perfectly. But what does it look like for the next possible entry? What could you use now to go long again? Because for me, this is now finished. This topic is finished, what we have here. That means I could delete this now. And I ask myself, where did I have my last deep correction? And I could take a look. What I don't really like here, to be honest, is that unfortunately, if you look here, there really wasn't much, just a very small candle movement above it. Above the last high where my take profit is. Despite everything, there is now the possibility to say, okay, I still have the option for a long entry here. But I don't think that we'll go too far down now. Actually, it would be better if the price rises further. And you can gradually trail the Fibonacci behind. Ideally, what would be magic for me now is if we get the entries somewhere in this price range, right here. Because if the price rises this much now, and after a correction we get back in, for example in this small block here, let's look further to the left, an interesting price area. You can see it here. You can see that we often had support here, consolidation, then broke below it, and for example had a retest here as well before it went down again. That means this would be optimal for me right now. Cleanly move up, pick up lower, and then maybe rise again. That would be one possibility I have in mind right now for a potential new chart or trading strategy, something to consider. We can take a look, maybe we'll find an opportunity live to enter here, so let's just save this for now. Go ahead and leave a few likes, guys, I'd really appreciate it. That would be really, really interesting. We have some numbers here right now. The ISM manufacturing PMI came in at 49, while the previous reading was 46. Is that a good indicator or is that a bad sign? Is that good or is that bad? Does anyone know? Honestly, I have to say, I have no idea what I'm doing right now. I'll just ask my buddy ChatGPT. Okay. It's not good overall. Okay, so it's not good. Overall. Okay, so maybe that's why, because now it should. Because of that, there's a bit of a correction, although you can't really call it a correction. But it's alright. Do we have any more numbers? I actually don't know. We'd have to check again. I think those were the numbers for today, right? Exactly. I think there will be more numbers tomorrow. Job openings are tomorrow. Then we have ISM services. They're happening sometime this month. I think that's going to be interesting, guys. I don't even know where else it is. Not here, not here. Don't we have an important announcement coming from the Federal Reserve, the Fed, today? Perhaps later in the afternoon? In exactly 15 days from now, yes, 15 days, that's precisely when it is set to happen. It starts in 15 days. Yeah. Otherwise, next time I'll try to come earlier. I really just got to the PC right before this. Otherwise, I would have liked to take you along live as I open everything up. I still have an opportunity with Litecoin that I can show you. I have an opportunity with Litecoin. That looks pretty clean to me as well. For those who are interested, this is not investment advice. You know, everyone does this at their own risk. But we're starting to see some bullish signs here. And with Litecoin, I saw something on the daily chart that looks super interesting. That we have a possibility here, a potential opportunity for this entry. If we place this very precisely now, it should be around at 105.10. That's how I would approach it. Do this again with a new long position again. That's what it would look like for me. Stop loss just before the next entry. Exactly, that works out. A risk-reward ratio of just about 4.4. That would be my first entry, and my second entry would be right in this area here. If the first one doesn't hold. The thing is, here I would only use a small leverage. The daily chart is always very, very important. If you're looking at around 10%, 8%, for example with H-bar, we need to take a look. I can show you that again. I think I did. 8%. Stop loss. Accordingly, I don't go into my trade with 10x leverage or anything like that, but actually with less. We'll save that in a moment. Here as well. For enhanced safety, an important alert message will be displayed. Because I want to take a look at it if it really comes to that. Of course, I want that on a smaller time frame. Or something like that. Now, another alert, because it's no use to me to go in at the daily close. To enter. Then I'll save that as well. But where do we have the H-bar? You can see here that it has a big 10.69%. That's nothing else. Even where I entered here, we actually have 10.9%. That's what it's showing now. But it's almost 10% loss that comes in here. In this price range, and that's why I think I only used a 2x leverage with H-bar. And also a smaller position, that's just this area up here. If that's the 57, if that's 100% on the trade with 2x leverage, then that's fine again. We'll also see if I can find something else. I'll actually wrap up soon, so I won't go on much longer, then I'll call it a day. For today, it was just a short video. Drop a few likes. But I think I haven't found any more trades today that I really liked. That's it. That's absolutely it. Let's take another more detailed look for everyone who still genuinely wants to see it. I'll show you something now. If you're on Bitunix and at least VIP 1, you can simply grab these mystery boxes right here from time to time, and you will keep getting them continuously. Let's just take a moment to see what I have actually got right now. New rewards. Did I get anything? At least $5 as a bonus. That's pretty good, right? $5 bonus. That means if I go back to my futures trades now, refresh it quickly, I have it down here. Now there's another bonus in there, which simply means futures bonus there, $5. Now, no matter what happens, whether I open or close various trades, or if a stop loss is triggered, the $5 will simply be deducted here. I have 5 days. What does it say here? 6 days, so now I have a week. but I get something every week, and sometimes, as I've already shown here, sometimes it's actually $200, sometimes it's $100, and so on. So it's always different depending on what happens here. Looks like it was actually a good thing that I took some profits earlier, because Bitcoin is currently starting to correct a bit again. Or maybe not. No, not that much at all. That was probably because I took profits. It's not that severe. The correction, everything seems to be relatively stable now from what you can see here. Yeah. Exactly, today was just a short live stream, more of a quick update. I'd say that's it for now. See you next time, just a very quick live update. Next time I'll make sure I get in earlier and we enter the trades together. But it was actually a bit stressful because I wanted to shoot a video for you, but I didn't manage to do it because the alarms came up in TradingView saying that possible long positions should be entered into now. And then it was actually one thing after another. Until next time, and ciao, ciao.